Okay, hello, my name is Brittany Terry, and this is my presentation on xanthan gum. So, what is it? Xanthan gum is a food additive. It thickens and stabilizes, it acts as an emulsifier, and it mimics gluten/wheat in gluten-free baking. Where does it come from? It was discovered by Dr. Elaine Jeans, and xanthan gum is a polysaccharide that is synthesized by bacteria. And in commercial production, xanthan gum is typically made from corn sugar that is broken down by plant bacteria through microbial fermentation, like in brewer's yeast. And then the broken down corn sugar is dried and turned into a powder, and they sell it at your local grocery store, most likely. And although it is created in a lab, xanthan gum is considered a natural ingredient. So, how is it used? In this example, we're going to talk about gluten-free baking. So, this is a video of me taking some gluten-free flour, a quarter cup of gluten-free flour in each bowl, a quarter of a teaspoon of xanthan gum in the bowl on the left, and then 2 tablespoons of water into each bowl. And I'm just going to mix these up so that you can see the difference in the consistency and the texture of the different doughs, with the only difference being the addition of xanthan gum. So you can see that the one on the left with the xanthan gum is very malleable, stretchy, sticky, and this one is like muck. Okay. So how do it do that like that? Xanthan gum thickens because of its unique properties as a hydrocolloid. Water bonds to the trisaccharide chains on the molecule, which then expand and hold the water in formation, bonding to each other at a high enough concentration that causes the thickening and stabilizing that you see in the video. Just as a reference, this is by no means a recipe that I would suggest you follow for anything, but I did try baking it just so that you can really see the difference here, because when the ingredients in the recipe combine, the carbon dioxide is created and released, and then much like gluten, xanthan gum helps trap the air inside the dough, allowing it to rise, and this chemical reaction in the dough acts as a leavening agent and results in a fluffy, airy loaf rather than a dense one. So here in this video, you can see that this one here is the one with xanthan gum. This is the one that doesn't have xanthan gum. We'll just cut into them so you can see that this one lacking xanthan gum is very thin. It is kind of gummy in the middle. And then this one over here is a lot more fluffy. It definitely rose a bit more. But like I said, this isn't like a recipe that you would use for anything. This is just to show you the difference in what it looks like when you use it and when you don't. The Tyndall effect on xanthan gum, it is a colloid. You can see the light is refracting or scattering off the particles in this colloid. So what I did in this video was I combined 100 grams of water with 1 gram of xanthan gum, and I mixed it up in a magic bullet so that it was properly incorporated, and that way you could see how thick it is with just 1% of the contents being xanthan gum. So the particles in the solution break down into their smallest form, and in colloids the mixtures do not separate, but they also do not break down, so they are still visible, which allows the light to refract off of them, which creates the Tyndall effect. So you can see that there in the video on the right, that the light beam shines through the cup. The physical properties of xanthan gum, it is a white or yellow powder. So it's a solid. It's odorless, tasteless, and it is prone to clumping, so you do have to make sure that when you use it, you fully incorporate it the right way. Usually you can use just like a KitchenAid or a magic bullet, depending on what you're trying to make. If you don't have one of those, immersion blenders do work, or you can just use like, a fork, really, if you're really, really patient, and you kind of sift it into the water just so that it incorporates, because sometimes it gets these things that are called fish eyes, and it's not harmful for you to eat them, but it is a bit strange. So chemical properties, it is a linear linked glucose backbone trisaccharide side chain on every other glucose contains a glucuronic acid residue, which is linked to a terminal mannose unit and to a second mannose that connects to the backbone. And that is the gorgeous molecule that is xanthan gum. So where can you find it? It is in foods, obviously, as we saw earlier in the video. It's also in salad dressings, fruit juices, soups, ice creams, hot sauces, and of course gluten-free products. But oddly enough, you can also find xanthan gum in personal care like toothpaste or lotions and creams and shampoo. And a big cause for concern, I guess, for some people is that you can also find it in industrial products like fungicides and like tile and grout cleaners, like toilet bowl cleaners, and adhesives like wallpaper glue. So that does make people feel really a bit weird about eating it. Health benefits and potential risks. So this kind of plays into the last slide a little bit. So some risks are that xanthan gum has been noted to lower blood sugar. So if you already suffer from hypoglycemia or like low blood sugar, or if you take a medication that might lower your blood sugar, it could be something that you would maybe want to consult your doctor about, but you would need to consume extremely high amounts of it, like 15 grams, I believe, in a day for it to actually have any effects on you. But still, if you're concerned about it, definitely check it out. Consuming that much of it, which would be not attainable through a normal human diet, could result in stomach upset, and because of its link to industrial products, it has been questioned that it might cause respiratory issues, although there was no notable information that I found on that. It was mainly just people were worried about it. But there's no evidence to support it. Benefits. It lowers blood sugar, so I guess if you suffer from high blood sugar, it might be something interesting to incorporate into your diet. It can cause weight loss because of its gel-like properties. It goes into your stomach and it kind of slows the process of digestion by like filling it up and latching onto all of the fats and stuff inside of your tummy there, and or your intestines, I guess. It is noted that it can lower cholesterol. In a couple studies in mice, they noticed that it slowed the growth of cancerous melanoma, although no human studies were performed. And some people have speculated that it would work as an adequate saliva substitute, but there's pretty mixed reviews on that, and I don't frankly know what you would need a saliva substitute for, but if you did, maybe worth noting. So thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Here are my sources in case you were curious about where all this information came from, and thank you so much. Have a great day.